What do you do when the government tells you your car is too loud, too powerful, too dangerous, and it needs to die? If you're Dodge, you build a louder one. The Dodge Charger has been declared dead more times than any car in American history. Emissions laws killed it. Oil crises killed it. The EV revolution was supposed to finish the job. And every single time, the Charger came back, angrier than before. This is the story of the most stubborn car America ever built. (1966). The muscle car wars are at full blast. Ford has the Mustang. Chevy has the Camaro. Pontiac has the GTO. Dodge looks at all of them and decides to go bigger. Not a pony car. Not a compact. A full-size, wide-body, fastback monster with a 383 cubic inch V8 under the hood. They call it the Charger. First-year sales. Disappointing. Americans weren't ready for something that aggressive. Dodge sold just over 37,000 units, less than half of what they projected. A lesser company would have walked away. Dodge went back to the drawing board. 2 years later, 1968, they come back with a redesign so perfect that automotive historians still call it one of the most beautiful American cars ever made. Clean fastback lines, hidden headlights, a cabin that looked like a spaceship. Sales tripled overnight. The Charger didn't just survive its rough start. It used the failure as fuel. You cannot talk about the Charger without talking about the engine that made it legendary. The 426 Hemi. Hemi, short for hemispherical combustion chamber. A design so efficient, so brutally powerful that NASCAR tried to ban it. 1964. Dodge enters the Daytona 500 with Hemi-powered cars. They finish first, second, third, and fourth. NASCAR bans the engine the following year, calling it too dominant for competition. Dodge's response? They put it in the Charger and sold it to the public. The street version produced 425 horsepower officially. Dodge engineers quietly admitted the real number was closer to 500. The paperwork just said 425 because insurance companies were already having heart attacks. When you bought a Hemi Charger in 1968, you weren't buying a car. You were buying band technology and a body you could drive to church on Sunday. That's not marketing. That's an American legend. But 1970 hits. Insurance companies start charging double for muscle cars. The government tightens emissions laws. Fuel prices begin to climb. By 1974, the original Charger is dead, replaced by a bloated, depowered shadow of itself. The Hemi, gone. The Fastback, gone. The Soul, gone. For years, the Charger name gets slapped on cars that have no business carrying it. Front-wheel drive Econo boxes, compact coupes, nothing that would make a 1968 owner recognize his car. There's a phrase in the Mopar community for this period. They call it the embarrassment. And then, Dodge decides enough is enough. 2006. The Charger returns as a proper rear-wheel drive, V8-powered, four-door muscle sedan. Not perfect. Purists complained about the four doors, but powerful. Available with a 6.1-liter Hemi producing 425 horsepower. The nameplate had its dignity back, and Dodge was just getting started. 2015. Dodge engineers apparently look at each other one morning and ask a single question. How much is too much? The answer is the Charger SRT Hellcat. 707 horsepower in a four-door family sedan. A car with a back seat, a trunk, a car you can put car seats in. 707 horsepower. The top speed, 204 miles per hour, in a sedan. For comparison, the Lamborghini Huracan of the same year made 610 horsepower and cost 3 times as much. The Charger Hellcat would pull up next to it at a traffic light and win. Automotive journalists didn't know how to categorize it. It wasn't a sports car. It wasn't a supercar. It was something America had never really built before. A family car that could embarrass exotics. Sales went through the roof. Waitlists stretched for months. Dodge had accidentally created the most talked about car on the internet before social media car culture even fully existed. And then, because apparently 707 horsepower wasn't enough, in 2020, they built the Charger Hellcat Red Eye. 797 horsepower. Still 4 doors, still a trunk, still theoretically practical, just absolutely, completely, unapologetically insane. Here's something that other car brands spend millions trying to manufacture, and Dodge got for free. Community. Charger owners don't just drive their cars, they identify with them. There are Charger meetups in every major city in America, online forums with hundreds of thousands of members. Owners who have named their cars, who have put more money into modifications than the car originally cost, who would sooner sell their couch than their Charger. They call themselves the Brotherhood of Muscle, and Dodge leans into it, using that exact phrase in their official marketing. Why does it work? Because the Charger has always stood for one thing: power for everyone, not just the wealthy, not just the collector. The Charger was always the working man's muscle car, the car you bought when you wanted to be serious about performance, but still had a mortgage to pay and kids to pick up on Friday. That's not a niche, that's America. 2025. The EV era has arrived, and almost every automaker handles it the same way. Quiet cars, smooth cars, cars that feel like riding in an elevator. Dodge refuses. The Charger Daytona, Dodge's first ever electric vehicle, arrives with 670 horsepower, a 0 to 60 time of 3.3 seconds, and a quarter mile in 11.5 seconds. But here's the part that makes the entire industry stop and stare. Dodge engineers looked at the one thing electric cars fundamentally lack: that visceral, chest-thumping roar of a combustion engine. And they solved it. They invented the Fratzonic chambered exhaust, a patented sound system built directly into the car's structure, engineered to produce up to 126 decibels of muscle car sound from an electric powertrain. 126 decibels. That's as loud as a Hellcat 5.8. And they went even further. There's a button on the steering wheel, Power Shot, that injects an extra 40 horsepower for 10 seconds on demand. Like a nitrous button. In a street car, drift mode, donut mode, drag mode, an electric car with a drag mode. The entire EV industry spent years telling muscle car fans to let go of the past. Dodge built an electric car and said, you don't have to let go of anything. When the pressure came, backed down, made the cars smaller, quieter, more responsible. Dodge made them louder. That's not stubbornness, that's a philosophy. A belief that there will always be Americans who want to feel something when they drive, who want the road to have weight to it, who believe that a car should demand your attention, not manage it for you. The Charger is not the fastest car in the world. It's never been the most technically sophisticated, but for 60 years it has been. The loudest voice in the room, and in America, that counts for something. Born to roar, still roaring. One question for the comments, and I need to know: old Hemi Charger, Hellcat sedan, or the new electric Daytona? Which generation gets your respect? Subscribe so you don't miss new video. See you there.